Two, we saw a lot of cars slipping and sliding in that last super late model qualifying session, especially off of 4. But one thing we talked about, and you see Paul Hartwig here at that 73, Carson Lofton, and it really excited for that team. We'll get more into them in this Jimmy Zacharias 71 throwback scheme. But yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity tonight, and one guy that I was surprised about looking at the practice order, we saw Eric Goodale was fastest, but all the way down in 18th, you talked about it, 20-something wins here in the Tour Type Modifieds. Matt Hirschman buried in 18th, and I saw Ryan Priest kind of drive up there and pass him. But here we go. Here comes our first car on track. Norman Newman in the number 11 getting his tires warmed up.
He'll be the first driver to take time. They'll come around to the green flag in that family Funland D3 Off-Road number 11 from Kincardine, Ontario, Canada for Norman Newman. Comes off of turn number 4. We'll see the green flag this time and begin his 2-lap effort here this evening. And
absolutely no time to waste here. You come right out of the pits, right to the green, then back to the white. So you have to get it and get after it right away. We'll see what Norman's... I'm telling you, I'm looking for that low 2, high teen mark, 18.2 to 18.1 to try to make this show.
Made the show here a year ago, finished 23rd, one of just 2 starts on the tour for Norman Newman. Completed his first lap at 18.948 seconds. We'll see if he can pick it up here on lap number 2 for car number 11, our first driver to take time here this evening. Beautiful night here, by the way, at New Smyrna Speedway. 60 degrees for all those wondering back up in the Northeast where it's negative 15 right now. Not a cloud in the sky, and Norman picks it up on lap number 2, 18.343 seconds.
Yep, Mike Marshall here out of Hudson, New Hampshire. We'll see what he's able to do. Newman just looks super tight there in 3 and 4. Both ends of this track are very different. It seems like it gets really tight off of 4. You're able to use more of the racetrack up off of 2. We'll see what he slots in here for his first lap in 18.776. So his first lap faster, way up the hill in 1 and 2, gets it turned down the backstretch.
Mike Marshall looking to make his second start here at New Smyrna and has a record of 15 total starts here on the tour over the years. Ran about half the schedule a year ago. And lap number 2 doesn't pick it up a whole lot. Still second, 18.504 seconds. The lap of record for Mike Marshall. We should mention 28 will get in on time through this qualifying session. Then there'll be 4 provisional starters added to the field.
Yeah, one of our Florida locals here, Jeremy Gerstner. He had a terrible wreck here last year where he broke his leg, but he's back in competition. See what he's able to do here, coming to the line for his first lap up the hill again. These guys are all seem to be struggling tight here these first couple out on the track, and his fastest first lap so far at a 5.40. We'll see what he's able to pick it up to. He didn't go up the hill quite as bad as the other 2 there in the 1.
See if he can pick it up here on lap number 2 for Jeremy Gerstner. The garage doors of Triad, sponsored number 55. Lap number 2, a big improvement, moves him to the top of the 3 qualifiers, 18.226 seconds. Lap number 2 for Jeremy Gerstner.
Yeah, that's where you're going to want to be. You're going to want to be in those low 2s right there, and that should be able to. We'll see if that's able to hang on here as we got Corey Plummer on the track in the 95 out of Swansea, New Hampshire. This car's different looking. I like it. That's what I love about the modified series. They don't all look exactly like it, and there's some new chassis builders this year with Apex coming on board. So we said the modified series is strong. First lap for Plummer, a 19.274. He's going to have to pick it up a second on the second lap.
Plummer began his career at the Claremont Speedway up in New Hampshire in mini stocks. Has a handful of starts here on the tour. In fact, just 2. Both at the Monadnock Speedway, his home track for the tour a couple of seasons ago. Lap number 2 for Corey Plummer. 18.526, 4th right now on the leaderboard for Corey as Luke Fleming takes the green flag and gets in turn 1 a little bit hot there. Slides up the hill, 23-degree banking here at New Smyrna.
When you slide your left front into the corner like that, the wall comes up fast. So this is going to be a throwaway lap. We see him kind of get pointed down the hill, get a good run. He knows he has to nail this second lap if he wants to be in this field tonight.
Lap number 1 for Luke, 5th. No surprise there, 19.314 seconds. for Luke Fleming.
You see the dash in the 4 here. This is now the 48 because of Brian Priest is number 49. I'm worried that he backed up 1 and 2 a little bit too much. He's going to come across the line. He's going to run a 4.42, 18.442. So maybe a little bit of an over adjustment there for Luke Fleming.
Puts him third right now on the leaderboard for Luke after that throwaway lap on lap number 1 as Andrew Kraus takes the green flag, becoming our 6th car to take time, car number 24.
Yeah, Andrew Kraus in the Supreme Manufacturing 24. He's a Wall Stadium champion. This guy has been around a long time now. Really strong team. We'll see what his first lap is here. This should give us a good read on what the track's doing.
Ran 5 races on the tour a year ago. For Kraus, lap number 1, 19.044 seconds. 6th of our 6 competitors for Andrew.
Yeah, that is not what he was looking for there. We'll see what he was able to do on lap number 2. Slots in at an 18.419, man. I don't love that for Kraus. Just had to back the corners up a little too much. Hey, this one right here, Jimmy Zacharias in the 71. Ooh, as he gets really free in 3 and 4. Really cool throwback scheme to his grandfather, Jim, a multi-time champion, over 100 race wins up in New York, and a great stat. I was talking to his father, Terry Zacharias, before. 32 Zachariases have raced. So I don't know of a family with that much lineage throughout racing like the Zacharias do from upstate New York.
I think most of them are featured on the back panel of the car that he is running here tonight for Jimmy Zacharias, the 34-year-old.
Best first lap we've seen so far at 18.373. This car is really sharp looking under the lights as it rolls down the backstretch there. Still a little free. He's the first car that we've seen kind of fighting free, which you want to be loose here in qualifying, and that's an 18.160 for Zacharias. That's where you're going to want to be, and that should get him in the show.
3-time Race of Champions winner right now, leading the way here early on in this qualifying session for Jimmy Zacharias. As our next driver on the clock, Joey Coulter makes his way up the back straightaway.
And Harold Hawley on the wrenches for this 02. He's been around racing a long time, whether it be cup cars, dirt late models, or these modified. So he's got a good handle on it. He's seen a lot of racing, so he's seen a lot of different tires. So these American racers shouldn't be too much for him to handle this weekend. We'll see what the 02 is able to do as his first lap at 18.550.
Miami Springs, Florida native, comes off of turn number 4. Checkered flag for Coulter up to second, 18.182 seconds. So a big pickup on lap number 2 for Joey Coulter in that 0-2. As Dave Sapienza comes off of turn number 4 to take the green flag. Riverhead, New York veteran. Sapienza Enterprises Eastport Foods, sponsored number 36.
Yeah, and Sap has been a staple on the tour, but he has struggled with qualifying here as of late in the last year or two. So we'll see what he's able to do as he gets really free. Ooh,
he struggled even more so tonight. A huge impact to the inside wall right at the start-finish line for Dave Sapienza at the completion of lap number 1.
And he's going to try to get a... Ooh. So... Unless Sap had a real bad problem there, what I think he was trying to do was turn around, but he's past the point of that. He can't turn around now because he's already taken the white flag, so this is really going to be detrimental for Sapienza's qualifying efforts here today.
So big impact with the inside wall for Dave Sapienza, that number 36, trying to get it righted in the right direction over in turn number 1. The lap of record will be 18.674, and that was sideways as he crossed under the starter stand. We'll limp that car back to the pit area as we'll get another look at it here in just a moment. So he comes off of turn number 4. Car kicked loose. He tried to save it, snapped around on him again, and big impact with the left front into the inside wall.
And what I saw from Sap there is, he got a little tight in 3 and 4, but he committed to the power. He committed the throttling out of it. And I was talking to veteran crew chief Tony Gibson this week. I told him I was going to bring my car down. He said, hey, be careful off of turn 4. That wall jets out there and it'll get you. And that's what happened there. Sap committed the throttle, and he was so committed he was going to ride it out. He just ran out of racetrack and did a little fwa back and forth. And, oh, man, it's going to be a long day for Sap. But as we did mention, there are some provisionals. I don't know where he ended up in points last year, but they may be able to take a points provisional, but some work is going to have to be done on that race car to get it ready for tonight.
Well, just 5 starts a year ago for Dave Sapienza, so may not be eligible for one of those driver provisionals here later this evening, but we'll see how things shake out for Dave and the rest of the field. Right now it is Jimmy Zacharias atop the leaderboard here, about a quarter of the way through this qualifying session. Joey Coulter, Jeremy Gersner, Norman Newman, and Andrew Kraus, the top 5. And we get back to Luke Fleming, Mike Marshall, Corey Plummer, and Dave Sapienza, the 9 drivers that have taken time. They clean up around the racetrack, especially here on the front stretch. Took one of the banners down when he got into the inside wall for Dave. He'll go to work on that car, and he's hoping to be in the field. 123 starts to his credit here on the tour, and looking to add to that here tonight. But they're, like you mentioned, in for a long night.
Yeah, well, good news for our next qualifier, Sammy Ramu in the 99 JT Motorsports car here for Jamie Tomeno. Dave did not hurt the radiator, because the last thing you want to see when you're sitting there and you're in the next car to go is somebody hit the fence like that and knock the radiator out of the car, and then they drag Speedy Dry all over the track, and then your qualifying effort is kaput. So the 99 car has been a staple on the tour for so long with Jamie Tomeno, Sam Ramu. These guys team up this year. It's going to be in this F&O 99. It's going to be a big year for them, and then we're going to start off here at Speed Weeks.
Jamie Tomeno, a former champion back in 1990 here on the tour. Sam Ramo goes into turn number 3 and will complete his first lap of record this time by. 23-year-old from Westminster, Massachusetts.
And it's a fine line as Sam Ramu comes by. He clocks in at an 18.426, a pretty good lap. Everybody's second lap has picked up quite a bit here. But you can see he was a little free in 3 and 4 too. And there's 2 types of free off the corner. As Ramu clocks in at a 18.310, not quite the pickup he wanted, but there's free from just being too loose, and then there's free from being too tight in the center of the corner, which is what Sapienza had there, where you try to make the car turn with the gas pedal and then it steps out from underneath you. So it's a fine line, and especially you want to maximize these long straightaways here at this half mile as much as you can. So we'll see these guys hard on the gas pedal.
Ramo right now 4th on the leaderboard as the white flag is out for our next qualifier, and Ken Hagee, lap number 1 for Ken, 18.730 for the Markel Racing Engine sponsored car. Off of turn number 4 for car 18, Ken Hagee. Checkered flag in the wind. Let's see if he picks it up. He does, but maybe not enough. Just a 10th of the 11 drivers to take time. 18.553 seconds for Ken Hagee, the Tour veteran.
This car is really a big deal. So Paul Hartwig and Paul Hartwig Jr., his father, Paul Hartwig, and then Paul Hartwig III, his son, too young to run this race. He's going to run most of the tour, but too young here at 14 years old. Carson Lofton fills in for the 73, but a really big deal for the Hartwig family. I remember growing up with Paul in the Wall Stadium grandstands and him starting street stock race. We raced quarter midgets together, starting street stocks, and to have a car out of their family garage, orange number 73, is such a big deal for them to bring it down here and be on the tour all year long. It's his first lap, 18.2, the fastest we've seen so far. He's going to go to the top in an 18.138. Carson Lofton, no stranger to victory lane in a Tour Type Modified, as he's won 5 smart Tour races.
And Paul Hartwig III will run for Rookie of the Year in that car, but he turns 15 in a couple of weeks on February 21st, so we'll see him next time out at the Martinsville Speedway next month.
Yeah, I got to race against Paulie Hartwig the last couple of weeks in the indoor series, and he's a great little driver. Excited to see what he can do this year.
Mark Stewart on the racetrack right now, car number 81 from Riverhead, New York. Cromer's Market, Keith Grimes excavating sponsored car for Stewart.
Mark Stewart's always one of those guys that flies under the radar, but always has a ton of speed. I've had to qualify against him at the Turkey Derby a couple times, and he's always super fast. As he goes to the top of the leaderboard in an 18.124, he's locked into the show for tonight.
Yes, he is, as he leads of the 13 cars that have taken time. Again, 18.124, his fastest lap, as Timmy Solomito under the green flag. Another one of the Long Island veterans, has had so much success at the Riverhead Raceway, success here on the Tour, has fallen just short of a championship several seasons ago.
The natural, they call him. His car is so sharp. Clocks in his first lap at 18.650. He's going to need a big pickup. Talking to his father earlier, this is a family-run team. They run this right out of their house garage. He wants to run as many Tour races as they can get their team to this year, right? They're all volunteers. As many guys as he can get to come with him as he comes off of turn 4.
Picks it up a bit, up to 7th, 18.310. Lap number 2 for Timmy Solomito, a sharp-looking 66 car. His cars are always been sharp-looking, very easy to spot.
Natural Design Co. If you need a car, if you see all them cool-looking cars at Riverhead, good chance Timmy Solomito wrapped them.
Connor Jones.
Yep, 39 car here. Eddie Harvey, crew chief in this week, a long-time modified owner. His dad owned teams. He had a lot of success with Andy Seiss driving his cars. So you know that Connor Jones, he's a wheelman. He races a little bit of everything, but he's going to need to pick it up at 18.66 there. Looking to get in them 20s, man. I feel good about being in the 20s right now.
Right now, 14th for Connor as he takes the checkered flag. The 19-year-old from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Picks it up on lap 2, up to 8th, 18.314 for Connor Jones. Another one of those Catalanos on the racetrack right now.
Ken U. Catalano. This is Tommy, the eldest brother, and the lead wrench there in the Catalano family. And his 54, the red number 54, has been synonymous with the Tour. And he races everything. He was just qualifying a super late model for tonight as Tommy's going to cross the line his first lap at 18.366. A good first lap, not the fastest we've seen so far, but still a good first lap, and he's a little bit of a pickup here in a second.
Currently 10th on the leaderboard for Catalano as he comes off of turn number 4, sponsored by USNE Power, and looking for a pickup on lap 2 and gets it. 18.213 seconds for car 54, moves Tommy up to 5th.
Back to the Tour, Jimmy Showtime blew it. Now, Jimmy's been out he battled health issues with diverticulitis. We'll dive more into that later, but Jimmy really excited to be back in this Gershow number 2 for Joe Pertuccio, and he's been working hard on this thing. He's brought like 4 cars down here between his own cars with his son James, 2 for Jimmy, and Jimmy has 28 victories here in a modified between the SK and the Tour type modifieds at Speed Weeks. Jimmy with an 18.226. That might be our fastest first lap now. If you want a driver that's going to get it all, I grew up working for this guy. He's going to get everything he can.
Look at him qualifying, working that wheel off of turn number 4, and he goes to the top for Jimmy Blewett, 17.883 seconds. New pace sitter, car number 2, Jimmy Blewett to the point.
That is the fastest lap we've seen so far. And all of our practices, anything so far, nobody has been in the 80s. Actually, only 4 drivers have been in the 90s. So that is a high bar that Jimmy Blewett has just set.
Trevor Catalano on the racetrack. Off of turn number 4, we'll see the white flag from Sean Houlihan on the starter stand.
As you see Trevor come off the corner there, he left a lot of space between himself and the wall. Where Jimmy Blewett, man, he was right on it. You could barely fit a piece of paper through there. And using all that racetrack with these 600 horsepower motors, that's just going to equate to lap time if your car's good.
18.767, lap number 1 for Trevor, 18th of the 18 cars. Lap 2, good pickup, 18.304, moving him up to the 8th position in the 56 car.
The Tour just seems right when the Mystic Missile's on it. That's for sure. When you have Ryan Newman.
And it's always been here.
I know, but it took a little bit of a lull.
It did.
It took a little bit of a lull when Bob Garbarino got out of the Tour, but the Connollys have brought it back, and no better guy to be driving your race car than Daytona 500 champion Ryan Newman. He's a driver of all things.
Car and a team that has found so much success in the Tour for decades. Right now, 7th with the Rocket Man behind the wheel, Ryan Newman, 18.222, lap number 1 for Newman.
And Newman took the shorter way around there in 1 and 2. He ran lower than anybody so far. We'll see if it equates to lap time. Which it does, a 96. Man, that lap by Blewett is fast.
Newman about a 10th back, 17.963 seconds for Ryan, who slots into the second spot. As on the racetrack now, John Michael Chenette in car number 8.
And John Michael Chenette, I've done a lot of work with him in the offseason. I have a powder coat business back in Charlotte, and we powder coat all his stuff. And he's super excited about taking this leap and going full-time tour racing this year. Man, this car is beautiful. If anybody's here, I suggest you go up and look at it. But a tall task too to go tour racing.
USNE Power, one of his sponsors, as he makes his way up the back straightaway from Thompson, Connecticut, 39 years of age.
18.986 his first lap. Looking for a big pickup here on this second. 18.401, not quite enough.
Moves him up to the 14th position of the 20 cars that have taken time for John Michael Chenette.
A new look for Matt Hirschman this year. It's weird seeing the 60 red, white, and blue, but I love the stars and bars on the same. Used to seeing it black and orange, but this PD Motorsports team going to tackle the full tour schedule. And Matt, you see the unique line Matt Hirschman runs. We'll talk about that a lot tonight, where he kind of lets the car drift up off the corner.
And Hirschman, lap number 1, 9th, 18.235 for Matt, who this is going to be his only race that he is committed to here this week. Normally we see him in the Tour Type Modified throughout the week, but he wants to have his sole focus here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, a tour that he'll run full-time this season. Third right now for Matt, 17.993 for car 60 of Matt Hirschman.
Yeah, and the PD Motorsports gang, like I said, they're making the commitment to be at the tour full time, so that is what they're focusing on. And there's a big difference between running the tour all week, or running the tour type cars all week, and running the tour. Even though the cars look the same, there are some differences. As we see a guy that is no stranger to winning, Bobby Labonte, come by in this PSR Cookout number 38.
Former Cup Series champion Bobby Labonte's been dabbling in the modifieds here on and off the last 7 or so years, both down south and up north. We've seen him at a few northern events. Running here tonight, lap number 1 for Labonte in the books. Lap number 2, looking for pickup here for Bobby Labonte. Up to 4th, 18.037 seconds for car number 38, Bobby Labonte.
Here's one of your hometown guys. There's 15 cars left to go here. Steven Kopsick, a Stafford regular, one of the guys who, I believe he was a Rookie of the Year last year on the tour.
Was?
In this Tommy Wannick owned number 21, beautiful race cars. And Steven's becoming one of the guys in the Northeast that is really a great modified mechanic.
He has helped a lot of drivers and teams in the pits over the years, up at places like Stafford and Thompson. Has found a lot of success behind the wheel as well, and right now is 11th here in qualifying, 18.275 for Steven Kopsick. Lap number 2, looking for a pickup, and gets it. Moves up to 3rd with a lap of 17.989 for car 21, Steven Kopsick.
Yeah, one thing I've always admired about Steven Kopsick, as we see Kyle Monsignor take the green here, is that he was the crew chief for Chase Dowling when they almost won the championship 5 or 6 years ago, and they were just teenagers then. So he's always been a guy that can wrench on the car, and hey, if you need him to get in it and wheel it too, he'll do it. And he's gotten a great opportunity with Tommy Wannick, as we see Kyle Monsignor get out of shape coming to his second lap. Now, getting out of shape coming to your second lap off of 4 there is one of the worst things that can happen, because it kind of blows both laps as you get loose, so you lose the time, but you also don't get the run down the front stretch. So we'll see if Kyle's able to pick it up here, if that's going to hurt both of his laps. He was only at 18.499, 20th his first time by.
20th at the end of lap number 1. Lap number 2 will move up to 12th, 18.285. The lapper record for Kyle Bonsignor, multi-time winner here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and cousin of multi-time champion Justin, who we'll see here in a little bit.
Yeah, we see Craig Lutz here in the 46 Doug Ojico tuned ride here. And interesting fact about the 46, the 1 and the 51. So the 46 is the first one that we're going to see on the track. They got to do a tire test here with these American racers back in December. And we'll see if it's able to transfer over to speed for him in qualifying here.
18th on lap number 1, 18.382 seconds. Lap number 1 for Craig Lutz. A little bit of a new look for that team here this season. It's car 46. We'll see the checkered flag this time around. And pick picks it up on lap number 2, moves to 5th, 17.997. As things got tight there in turn number 2 with Max Zackham coming onto the racetrack. Lutz will head back to the pit area as Zackham comes to speed in the 20.
Yeah, that's something you'll see here with modified guys. Sometimes they like to pull out and just hammer it, or they like to come out and kind of go slow, get their brakes warm, try to get some heat in the front tires. Zackham, man, had a great year last year. He won the SK 5K, and then he went on and won the Turkey Derby in this same car. So this has been a match made in heaven, him with this 20 car here lately.
This is the same car that won the Turkey Derby back at Wall Stadium a couple of months ago. Lap number 1 is complete for Max. See where that puts him, 19th, 18.398. Lap number 1 for Max Zackham.
Now, Max won't run the full year this year, but him and Ryan Morgan are going to split this ride, and they're going to run for the Owners' Championship. So I was talking to Max's father earlier, Ken, and he said that they have, him and Ryan putting their brain together, kind of putting their efforts together, has been it's been really big. And you see it there in speed, right? 3rd overall, the 17.980. And that's a Troyer car. He says that he's taken the Troyer cars a little bit better than he had the LFR. And this car right here, Old Blue, Tyler Ripkema and Old Blue. These are how old school is this? These are the guys that still build their own race car, right? There's six chassis manufacturers, and these are the guys that still build their own race car out of Boulder's garage.
Since the 1960s, I believe, for Old Blue, driver of car number 3, Tyler Ripkema from Owego, New York, 29 years of age, and has a little bit of work to do here on lap number 2 for Tyler, as has been the trend for much of the night. Deep in the running order, 20th at the end of lap number 1. Big pickup on lap number 2. 7th for Tyler, 18.023.
Michael Christopher spins it coming out of pit road. We were talking about everybody trying to get heat in their tires. Sometimes they get a little too much. Now the sun is completely gone, so the track temperature is going down really quick. And you have 15-inch tires, so you got 60 inches of tire on the racetrack. And when they're cold, man, they are a handful. But really excited for Michael Christopher and this elite towing team. We've seen Matt Hirschman in this car before, and they're going to go. They put the 31 on it because of his dad, Mike Christopher, and Michael has been in the headlines a lot lately with the Dodge show. And I'm excited to see what he can do this year racing for Rookie of the Year.
Going to run the full schedule for Michael Christopher Jr. as challenged for the SK Modified Championship at the Stafford Speedway up in Connecticut the last couple of seasons. Lap number 1 for Michael is complete. 17th right now, 18.308 seconds. For Christopher, who comes off of turn number 4, we'll see the checkered flag. And looked good in practice earlier and looks good here.
Hey, if you're that fast, more guys might try spinning out off of pit road. That might be a good strategy there. Michael Christopher, though, in his limited tour starts, he does have 1 win. And it's just, like you said, there's no tougher place than Stafford and SKs, and he's been so good there. Bridesmaid so many times. I talked to his dad, Mike Christopher, when he's like, maybe we just run second, like that's our thing. But he's won all the big races there, and he's such a great competitor. And the modified tour is just better when there's a Christopher name in the rundown every week.
Couldn't have said it better. As 2-time champion Ron Silk takes the white flag. Car number 16. Former winner here at the Speedway, but 21st at the end of lap number 1, 18.342 seconds for Ron Silk. We expect a big pickup on lap number 2. Not as big as we thought, though. Just 10th right now. 18.058 for Ron Silk in that 16 team.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, Silk has had so much success on the Hoosiers that you kind of have to throw all your notes out, it seems like. So some of these guys like Patrick Emerling, I was talking to him earlier, you see him on the track now, he has some experience with American racers racing in upstate New York. He said he's run them at Wyoming County, some on the ROC Tour. So just that little bit of knowing what the feel is, knowing what the qualifying nuances are, knowing how much air you need to put in for qualifying or what to do to heat your tires up. All those little tidbits, stacking pennies, if you will, add up to $1, and it just adds up to time, as we see Patrick Emerling at an 8.067 11th.
It went from 18th to 11th from lap 1 to lap 2 for the defending race winner, Patrick Emerling, in the Energizer 1 USNE power-sponsored car for Patrick.
Now, you might look and see, I thought that McKennedy was just getting heat in his tires, but he dump truck push there off of 4 and into 1 and 2. But I don't know. This guy is such a crafty racer. To be able to run super modifieds as well as he does and build his own stuff, this is one of the guys I have circled for tonight. He's going to be back full time on the tour. Talking to him earlier, he said that the tour, it just makes it appealing to come back, and he's got a team that he feels like can race for the championship again. He's a champion, a driver's champion already in 2022, and excited to see where he's able to use all the racetrack off of 4.
Fastest in first practice earlier today, and fastest right now here in this qualifying session, 17.763 seconds for Jonathan McKennedy, who goes to the top of the leaderboard as we're getting down to it. Just about 6 or so cars remaining, and McKennedy right now atop the board as another one of our rookies about to take the white flag.
Yeah, Teddy Hodgkin, a Stafford local, taking the white. But let's go back to McKennedy. He drove a push into that car. When we talk about a push, he had the wheels cranked, and that tells me that he knew from his years of experience that he needed to get more heat in the front tire. So he threw his first lap away. He said, hey, I'm throwing this one away. I know I'm going to nail my second one. And he went over a 10th faster than Blewett, who's the only one in the 80s. Now McKennedy runs a 76. That is so fast.
Caught our eye earlier today and now leads the way for McKennedy. Teddy Hodgkin 13th, 18.073 seconds for the former SK Light Modified champion. Teddy also going to be one of several rookies running the full tour here this season and is solidly in the show. Again, 28 in on time. Currently, Jonathan McKennedy is the leader and currently 28th. And on the bubble, Luke Fleming in the 48 car.
And here's Luke Baldwin. This was your pole sitter last year. I love that they went back to the Tiger Tom yellow scheme. It looks so good. And Luke, 2-time defending Smart Tour champion, looking to get his first first NASCAR wheel modified tour win this weekend.
14th fastest after lap number 1, 18.122 seconds for Luke Baldwin. Luke comes off of turn number 4. Checkered is up. And Baldwin goes to second, 17.770.
Luke has been so impressive in his young career. He's been so fast each and everywhere he goes, and you see it equates to Truck Series starts and everything he's able to do. So super excited for him, and one of the best modified mechanics of all time. His dad, Tommy Baldwin Jr., working on that thing. So really cool. Always great to see that 7 and Y up front.
One of the first in the infield when the pits opened here this morning for Tommy Baldwin. One of a multi-time champion here on the tour, Justin Bonsignor, takes the green flag.
Justin last year at this race, I'll tell you what, he bounced off of everything, as many guys did with 12 cautions, but he was in it, out of it, and he came home and finished 3rd. He's won 4 championships in 47 races for a reason, second on the all-time win list, as he's going to slot in second. You see the track picking up. Oh, he's first, 7.730. Heck of a lap.
Big pickup on lap number 2 for Justin Bonsignor, who is now the new pace setter here in qualifying. Just a few cars to go on the racetrack right now, just fresh off a win, 72 hours ago at Bowman Gray Stadium in the Cookout Clash. Ryan Preece, another former NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion, back to his roots here tonight, also in a super late model a night ago. And white flag complete, lap number 1 for Preece. Going to have some work to do here on lap number 2 for Ryan.
Ryan Preece, man, such a great story. If there's any short track racers that ever doubt themselves, you got to follow this guy. He gets really free, uses all the racetrack up off of 4. The only man to win a cup race this year, Ryan Preece, slots in at 5th with a 17.895.
That was after being shown 16th after lap number 1. So a good pickup for Ryan Preece, lap over lap, and we'll move him into the top 5. 2 drivers to go, including last year's champion who takes the green flag, car number 64 from Northampton, Pennsylvania, the G&G Electric Supply Dell's electric car for Austin Beers.
Austin Beers, the champ, and as we said, they should be getting faster because this qualifying order is based on the final practice, so it goes slowest to fastest to final practice. So the last 2 here were 1st and 2nd, and Austin Beers, man, has been great. He wanted to point out to me that he is the youngest Tour Modified champion. He needed to clarify that, and this Mike Murphy-owned team, man, they have been on fire lately.
beat out Ryan Preece for that youngest champion by just a couple of weeks last year. And Austin Beers will slide in the line in fourth, 17.876 for Austin and the 64. Now the fastest driver in final practice earlier this evening from Riverhead, New York, the GAF Roofing sponsored car for Eric Goodale.
Talking to Eric earlier, this is the only race he's going to run this week at Speed Weeks. He has run all of Speed Weeks every year, I think, for the last over a decade. And he was really regretting his decision to not run all week long, but just focusing on the tour race, and he's going to head back to New York.
Five-time winner on the tour, but it's been a while since October of 2022 at Thompson. So, he's itching to get back to victory lane. Looked good in practice earlier today. We'll see how he does here in this qualifying session for Eric, who moves up and into the top 10. Currently ninth for Eric Goodale, 17.971 seconds. But it's Justin Bonsignor that picks up the American Racer Pole Award here tonight with a quick lap of 17.730 seconds. Look good in practice. Going to look good for 200 laps later tonight, bringing the field to the green flag. Let's hear from him now with Bob Dillner.
Justin Bonsignor gets the pole. You were pumped up about that. New tire, new season. How quick was that race car?
We're really good. We watched John McKennedy kind of throw away his first lap trying to get heat in the right front. We did the same thing, and it still had an O. And I just knew if I hit my marks, we were going to have a good shot at it there. But, three good cars still went after us, and we were able to hold them off. So, we're excited. It's been a tough winter for our team. A lot of soul searching and finding out what we're going to do. And this is a good start to the night. So, just appreciate everybody coming out tonight here. Everybody watching home on Flow in the snow, I'm sure. So, this is step one, and hopefully we can put together 200 good ones.
Snow all over the country. It's a little chilly down here in Florida, but it's a nice day for racing, guys.
Man, when I see this 51 team, all I can think about is continuity, right? Justin Bonsignor and Ken Massa have been through so much, but they've done it all together, and they've been together for so long that just shows the strength of their team, right? You change the tire, you throw it every one. He said they had some hard conversations this winter, and him and Ryan Stone figured it out, and they're on the pole for tonight.
Has a pair of runner-up finishes here at New Smyrna Speedway, looking to improve that by one here tonight, being the first winner of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour season. Justin will lead the field down to the green for 200 laps here later this evening over John McKennedy, Luke Baldwin, Austin Beers, and Jimmy Blewett, the top five here in qualifying. Then it's Ryan Preece, Michael Christopher Jr., Ryan Newman, Eric Goodale, and Max Zackham. The top 10 here in pole qualifying. The field is set for the New Smyrna Beach Area Visitors Bureau 200 coming up in just a bit here on Flow Racing.